Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Group Chat. This is an action-packed, very time-efficient episode. We know we gave you one yesterday. We want to hit you with another one today. We are talking about inflation. We're talking about layoffs. We're talking about what the hell is happening in Paris. And shocked what the busiest airports in the world are. National parks. Our friends over at Booz Allen. This episode is brought to you by Booz Allen Hamilton.
Yeah, they should sponsor the pod.
They should. They have tons of money. And of course, winners, losers, content. And to all the chatty Cathys up in the Discord. I love it. I was traveling. I didn't have headphones. I just didn't have anything to read. I just don't have anything downloaded. So I just sat and read everything on the Discord. Fascinating.
Great stuff. A lot of smart people.
A lot of smart people. I'm actually finally going to finalize the date on Monday for the meetup. It'll be in May in Venice Beach, California at the Lo Ciento House. The date is coming soon, giving people a month notice. So if you're out of town and you want to come, it's going to be fun. And the Lo Ciento House in Venice is sick.
Amazing.
So we'll see you out there soon. All right, everyone, let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, Cathys, we are back with another episode of Group Chat, back to back. We're here.
We lost drama.
We lost drama. You know, we had a nice little momentum, but you know, show must go on.
Exactly.
Hopefully, he'll be here when his parents are here.
Zero chance.
You don't think so?
No. Do you? You want to make a bet?
The parents will just be here.
Yeah. 2 mics.
I hope they're on the pod.
Love for them to be on the pod.
That'd be amazing. So, I think the big news of the last 24 hours really has been the jobs data.
Mm-hmm.
Jobless claims came in higher than expected, revised for the previous 2 weeks higher than expected.
Yep.
There's a big jobs report coming out, payroll report coming out tomorrow. And everyone's now expecting really, really bad data there as well. So things have turned dark quick.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is geographically where jobs are increasing and where jobs are reducing. So the West-South is what they call it, is down 161,000 jobs in 2023.
Okay. So
that includes Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. The Central South, Mississippi, Alabama, they're down 83,000 jobs. And then South Atlantic, which is like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, down 103,000 jobs. But then California is up pretty big, substantially. And so is the New York area. So are people being called back? So even what we know remote work still exists, but what it signals is you have to be near the office, at least showing up 2-3 times a day.
That's what you think that means. You don't think that those states are just experiencing a disproportionate amount of layoffs?
Potentially, but those were the areas which had the biggest boom during the pandemic. So it's very curious that. So what industries are in those states? Those are pretty traditional industries.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
those aren't white collar jobs either.
No, so it could be, warehouse jobs. It could be manufacturing jobs. It could be, working at like a logistics place. Those industries are experiencing pretty deep cuts. You also have to remember the Amazons, the Facebooks, the Microsofts, their offices are just not only in like Seattle and San Francisco. Facebook has an Austin office. Everyone has an Austin office. And they're probably like, cut those jobs. We keep the HQ jobs. HQ jobs, you need to keep morale high. These satellite offices, we need to cut. That could be it for the white collar jobs.
And then the ripple effect, the U.S. Census shows that there's 800,000 homes actively under construction in the South. That's 2x West Coast, 4x the Midwest and Northeast. So there's boom of building homes for this new demand. It's going to collapse. So housing prices in Texas, Florida, which saw the biggest benefits. It's reversion back to pre-pandemic. Remember we said all these new trends? Eventually everything's coming back.
Basically in 6 months, your ass is going to be back in an office, sitting in traffic and being pissed off and coming home and watching Netflix getting drunk.
Yeah, I think unless you're like a freelancer if you're in a corporate job, that fantasy of the last 3 years appears to be over, especially in a tightening economy.
Yeah. And we've said this, we've propinquityed our dicks off here
Yep.
about how important it has been to be present in your office. And I think here's the thing. A lot of companies have moved to a hybrid workforce because of the cost of operating an office.
Yep.
So there are certain industries, certain jobs. I don't think they'll ever go back truly into an office. But I do believe you need to make an extra additional effort to stay face to face with the folks in your industry, in your network, in your own company. Like if you don't make a concerted effort, like, you know how much I travel? Do I have to go and visit all of our customers and brands we work with? I don't have to, but I don't think it's good business.
Yep.
I think it's out of sight, out of mind. And I believe in building relationship and rapport with people you work with. And if you don't, they forget about you. And if they forget about you, you don't make money with them anymore.
Right. And so the big payroll number is coming tomorrow. Everyone has always said that's going to be the big indication that the Fed will be done. So
because that's really it. That's actually the real economy.
So there was an article in the Wall Street Journal this morning that the Fed came down to the final hour to decide whether to raise rates. They wanted to see if the banking system is stable. How can you tell within 1 week of multiple regional banks collapsing what the ripple effect for the rest of the regional banks are? It was not prudent they should have paused and seen what happened. There wasn't enough time to see.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think the pausing would have just signaled something else to the market that the fuckery could continue. And I think they just had to do it just to put the fear in everyone's.
Just everyone slow down.
Yeah, because I think the problem is like everyone's just like out of control with, where we could. The reaction to the Fed is so drastic one way or the other.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people that believe that the October of 22 was the bottom of the market, not the real economy.
Yep.
Real economy is going to bottom probably the next 6 months. Like Q4 and to Q3, you'll start seeing the real impacts of
it's going to take time.
Savings are depleted. Credit card rates are all-time high. Car payments are being defaulted. Obviously, housing market is basically at a standstill. Like all that impact you should start seeing pretty quickly. And you see it first with the consumer, and then you start seeing it things in housing. So, we have tax refunds right now, so consumer might be strong. We talked about on the last episode, the $500 billion of interest money that's like basically keeping the party going.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean the market can't bounce back sooner. The market could bounce any day now. And
the market is waiting for clarity on the Fed and inflation, and has nothing to do with the real economy.
No.
We learned that in 2020.
Yeah.
We learned that in 2009.
And just so we keep reiterating it, but the reason why is like once interest rates look like there's a path to go down, then you then do not have any risk-free place to put your money. So then you could take more risk in your investing
your job
strategy.
is to generate returns. So
Yes.
if you manage a fund, if you're an endowment, an institution fund, you have to exceed 9-10% post-taxes
Yeah.
for people to take the risk.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to get that?
Yeah.
So risk assets should have gangbusters second half of the year.
Yeah. Assuming the inflation, the one inflationary issue we have now again is oil.
And the other thing that is really important to note is there's record amount of cash sitting on the sidelines, parked at funds that needs to get deployed. That has nothing to do with the real economy.
Yeah.
So once they figure out, I can get more return, they're going to go back to U.S. public equities.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the real economy.
Yeah. And I think that's something you just have to get comfortable with.
Yeah, because 2020 proved it when the
world was shut.
The win was open 2 days a week, and it was trading higher than it is today when it's open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So real economy does not matter when it comes to the stock market.
Yeah.
The real economy is going to matter for everyone else.
For Joe Public, yeah.
Joe Public's going to have a rough 2023.
Yeah. I think look, it'll all depend on if you continue to have your job and potentially have a steady rent payment, and maybe you're in your 3% interest rate home, your life does not change even in a slowdown.
No.
It will not. You will not make any. You may have less confidence in making big ticket purchases.
Unless layoffs start to accelerate into all industries.
Yes, but what I'm just saying is, even if layoffs accelerated in 2008, but if you kept your job, all you lost was confidence to make a big ticket purchase, but fundamentally no difference in your life.
Yeah.
And by the way, a catastrophic unemployment number in today's market is like, we're at 3.5, we go to 6%. 7%.
Yep.
That is like catastrophic to people today. It's not, we're not talking 15% unemployment. Sure. So you're talking like, what is that of the workforce? A few million people?
Yeah. No, it's true, but it's going to be painful.
Yeah.
The pain hasn't hit the real world yet.
No.
And it will.
Yeah.
The pain was only hurt stockholders.
Yeah. And those people had already had huge gains, so they could stomach some losses.
Of course, yeah. Because it was an inflated peak down.
Yeah. Moving on. Paris is literally burning.
Yeah, this is fascinating. So
it started off because of the try to raising the retirement age in France.
Yeah, from 62 to 64.
And I think it was the route they did it, as opposed to the fact they did it.
It was more just like kind of heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Like we're raising it.
Yeah.
And so protesters they stormed BlackRock, who has nothing to do with the raising of 62 to 64.
But I think it's a representation of
wealth.
I'm telling you,
because they manage private pensions. So, I mean, it's not going to affect BlackRock.
No, that rock is very
strong.
sturdy. But I think it's just symbolic of where the times are. It's funny if you think about it. We're in April of 23. 18 months ago, if you went on social media, everyone was celebrating wealth.
Yep.
We were celebrating that everyone was getting, because it was the first time everyone got to participate, if you wanted to, in the fuckery. Sure. Whether it's crypto, meme stocks, real estate, everyone's e-com business did. If you were doing 100,000 a year in 2019, you did 500 in 2020. You did $1 million in 2021. So up until 2021 Q4, the world got to participate in this wealth creation.
Yeah.
And then it was taken away. And it went back to the same people that it's always been.
Yeah, and I think it's also interesting. You travel, obviously, a lot. And I have pretty light travel. And it's the first time I've seen celebrities at an airport in years.
Yeah.
I saw Diplo. Saw Chelsea Handler in a commercial airport. Gross. I don't think in 21 they're flying commercial.
Yeah.
Do you? Whoever's booking them would have flown them private.
Would have flown them. Yeah, that's true. They're not going to spend their own money, but yeah, that's interesting. I haven't seen any celebrities at the airport.
Well, those are two pretty big celebrities.
Yeah. Especially Diplo. I feel like whoever's booking him would normally just let him.
He's also financially prudent. So if they're like, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So if they're not covering the PJ,
he has no reason to spend the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think.
And think about, like, I have no idea why they were flying, but typically if a celebrity is being booked for a talk show or a movie set premiere or whatever the hell they're doing, in 21, I'm pretty sure it was just like, yeah, we have to have a private jet. Now the production company could be like, you're not flying private.
Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, but I do think there's just this general kind of feeling around, like, wealth is like, now that it's been taken away from everybody, basically the general public has now got the taste of what everyone else has felt.
Yeah.
The rich have felt, and they don't like it.
No, and especially
no stimulus, money's ran out. We were having the sad reality of the last 5 years, 2020 and 2021 were the best of times.
Financially, yes.
Yes.
So we prefer lockdowns and stimulus.
Yes. It was.
Everyone felt rich.
Tell someone, ask someone what was a bad year. Let me tell you, was it 2020 or 2021?
Not 21. 21 was the peak.
That was the roaring 20s. It happened.
Happened for 6 months.
Yeah. It was hot.
It was fun.
Money was flowing.
Yeah. Every day, another big IPO.
Yeah.
I mean, the way people were living in 21 of like wealthy people, it was insanity.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I'm very interested to see if this is like this sentiment of what's happening in France spills over to the rest of the world. Like
I think it'll definitely in Europe.
Yeah, I think in Europe it makes a lot of sense.
It already had been
Yeah.
back in like 15 years ago.
I mean, we've already heard this, and Italy has banned ChatGPT. There's now rumor that France and Germany are going to do it too. Look, I am very cautious on AI. Like, I understand all the benefits, but I'm scared of it as well. But banning it, like, if you there's to me, it's a pause to understand how to regulate it versus like, we jokingly say ban it. And the point that was made was valid, was that, okay, well, China's not going to ban it.
Yeah, I mean, US LPs are funding. The whole point is if you ban it, you're going to get behind.
Yes.
The cat's out of the bag, so you have to be ahead of the curve.
Well, so that's my point, is instead, and I think Biden actually has like a summit of 20 technologists and scientists coming to understand AI, or just technology in general. But I think it's like an opportunity. Like, I think the way Europe treats big tech is actually like too heavy-handed.
Yep.
And it's hurt innovation out of that region. Like, think about like some of the smartest people in the world are in Europe too, but the companies that have come out of there, it doesn't foster that culture.
Yeah, it's a fraction of what's been developed here.
Yeah.
And like Uber went there and beat everyone.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Right now, there's a hackathon at OpenAI. They've invited like the most talented engineers from all over.
That should be banned.
There should be like someone
CIA.
for the administration understanding how this works.
CIA should be there.
Yeah, probably right.
I don't know about administration.
Yes.
I need CIA.
Heavy-handed CIA.
CIA has smart people.
Very smart people.
Get one of those guys. Be like, all right, what's his?
Because I have friends.
What's his little Indian nerd doing over here? Keep an eye on him. Put a tracker on him.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because I'm not fucking around with that. That hackathon sounds scary.
Yeah, because these people are really smart.
For them, there's no rules.
First of all, I heard it was an impossible invite to get.
Yeah.
And the people that did get it, that I know of, are extremely successful, talented people.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see. In the meanwhile, what are the world's busiest airports?
Yeah. This is interesting. Have you looked at the list yet?
No, I haven't. I'm looking at it right now. First time.
The 10 busiest airports in the world.
Yeah.
Give me your guesses as in the top 5.
I'm going to go JFK.
Nope. Not even in the top 10.
In the world.
In the world.
Oh.
I'll tell
London,
you,
Heathrow.
No. It's in the top 10. The top 4 are American cities.
Minnesota, Atlanta.
Not named Los Angeles or New York.
Minnesota and Atlanta.
Atlanta, yes. 93 million people that passed in 2022. Number 2 is Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay. American hubs.
Denver, Colorado. I don't know what hubs.
It's a big hub.
Is that United?
I don't know. I think it is United, but there's a big international airport.
And Chicago. 68 million. Then Dubai.
Huh?
Then Los Angeles. Istanbul.
Okay.
London. New Delhi. Paris. Here's what's fascinating. We think travel is bigger than ever.
Yeah.
So let's compare the percent change between 2019 and 22. We're still way off.
Really?
So Atlanta's down 15% versus 2019. Dallas is only 2%. Denver is par. Chicago down 19%.
How about LA?
Down 25%.
That's international.
Yeah, I guess no. This probably means China travel.
Yeah.
That's how much China.
Because domestic travel doesn't. I want to know the distinction between domestic
Yeah, that's
and
a good point.
Because domestic travel, it's off the charts.
What's crazy is Dallas Fort Worth was number 10 in 2019, and now they're number 2. So they don't rely on China travel.
Obviously.
I think that's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, dude, you have 1,000,000,003 people that are locked down.
Yeah. LA's going to explode.
So we haven't even seen peak. Lines are crazy at airports.
Insane.
So once they start traveling,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Even the airport in Mexico City was crazy.
Istanbul was ranked 28th in 2019, and now they're top 10. What's going on in Istanbul?
Russians.
World Cup? Russians and World Cup, maybe?
Probably. I'm sure a lot of people from that region went to Turkey.
It was like an easy route.
It's nice country.
Yeah. China's going to fuck some shit up.
Yeah, I mean,
They're going to...
strains. Well, here's the thing.
Airports don't even have the capacity right now to service what exists today.
I'll tell you, there are clear signs that travel is softening. And I'll give you the one signal that I saw. Disney is coming back with their annual passes.
Yeah, they cut those off.
They cut those off because business was so crazy. If the mouse is seeing a fucking dip, that means the rest of the country is about to dip in travel.
So it's when Iger took over for Chapek, one of the things that he was irate about is that the parks became just a cash grab and it ruined the experience. So I don't know if that's signaling a demand thing. Like one of Iger's first things is, I think some of the main characters you have to pay to take a picture.
Wow.
And he's like eliminated that on day one. It's like you're ruining the experience for families. And
which I've heard like last year, like going to Disneyland was brutal because it was so crowded.
and everything was plus.
Yeah.
So Iger, I know it's been reported by everyone that he wanted to come in. That was one thing that really pissed him off, that the parks felt like too transactional. So maybe the annual pass could be, I want to make it
retention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let me get because look, long term, you still need like a local customer base.
And long term, as much as IPs Disney has, if you don't feel good about your experience,
No.
you'll
you
try
feel-
it once and then
Yeah.
you'll be like, I'll wait a few years.
Yeah. If you feel like you got ripped off, you're not
Yeah.
coming back. Which I never heard that people felt like that till last year.
Yeah. And I think Iger came in and cleaned that all up.
Yeah. Very interesting. All right. So national park visits are surging. So this goes back to the travel thing. I think we saw this like flight to the outdoor during COVID.
Yep.
And I think people have a greater appreciation. Like the amount of people that like, I felt like the last few years that have gone skiing, gone hiking, gone like especially city people are more inclined to want to experience the outdoor. So we're seeing this surge in national park visits.
Surge in national park visits, record numbers. And what's interesting is Booz Allen, the consulting firm, has a government contract to run recreation.gov. They've made $180 million operating the website, and none of the people that are actually booking, because you have to pay for these parks, right? And the assumption is when you have no problem paying because you're like, oh, it's going to maintain the grounds, the groundskeepers.
Just to pay Booz Allen.
Booz Allen is just cleaning up. And there's one park I've never even heard of. It's called Wave in Utah, Arizona.
Never heard of it.
And apparently you have to you win a lottery to get it. To enter the lottery, you pay $9 just to enter the lottery.
Yeah.
And this person from Honolulu said she's entered 10 times. Of that $9, 5 was going to Booz Allen.
Wow.
So Booz Allen's cleaning up, and now there's a class action
I'm
lawsuit.
looking at this. Man, Booz Allen is making bank.
And let me tell you, WhatsApp was run by 20 people. And
Recreation.gov could be run by our Discord chat.
a Stanford junior engineer, like an actual junior, 20-year-old kid, could probably run recreation.gov by himself.
Yeah. This is why people get so upset at the government, because this is a joke.
Yes.
This is someone who lobbied, Booz Allen lobbied.
Yeah, probably took him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then you go, what's up with recreation? This is recreation.gov, not even like a hot site.
Yeah.
Imagine if you did like the DMV.
Yeah, it's a profit center that none of the public's just realizing. I'm sure it could be in the terms and service. Who knows? But it's hidden. And it's a joke. Like, what's the government doing giving Booz Allen $180 million to run what likely is probably a terrible site?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you spent $5 million once on the website, which is still a joke, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I think in California, we paid Accenture $100 million to set up the vaccine site.
The website?
Yeah. And that was a terrible site. Remember, everyone was trying to figure out, do I have an appointment? Do I not?
Yeah. This is where, like, it's such a, like,
And that was just California.
yeah, Accenture must have cleaned up. That's why there's 800,000 employees in that company.
Yeah,
They're taking everyone to the cleaners.
Yeah, this is such a joke.
Government contracts is the
the waste.
biggest waste. And I'm sure you could make the argument that it employs a lot of people, but it's going to the top.
Yeah, and I don't mind so much the government employees being employed, but when a company like Booz Allen is just pocketing a quick 200,
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah. At least if it went to booze.
Yeah,
Everyone gets
booze for
free
the-
booze at the national park. For $180 million, everyone at the national park could have got drunk for the
Yeah.
next 5 years.
Yeah,
Imagine
easily.
if they just said, we took all the money, did a deal with Anheuser-Busch, and we're going to go just all get wasted.
Yeah, if you look through the budgets of city, states, federal government, it's an absolute joke. Yeah.
It's a joke.
That's why people lose
fake.
faith in all this stuff. And we could talk about Clarence Thomas, Supreme
Yeah.
Court Justice.
What's up with your boy Clarence?
There's a guy named Harlan Crow,
Sounds rich.
very rich.
I like that name.
He's a Texas billionaire that's been flying Clarence Thomas and his family private super yachts, and none of this was ever disclosed. Decades. Asia, Bahamas, everywhere. All like retreats.
Okay.
Massive Republican donor. So it's unclear whether this is illegal or not, but everyone's like, this is absolutely unethical.
Yeah.
If you're making, think about how many major Supreme Court decisions have been made in the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
And this guy's in the pockets of a Republican donor. This is why Supreme Court justices are actually supposed to be for life, so they're not influenced.
Yeah. Well, he gets free flights for life.
Free private jet flights. Give it to Diplo and Chelsea Handler, for God's sake.
Oh man, this is nuts. And I think the problem also is that, like, I think in this scenario, we have to accept that this is always going to happen.
Just disclose it.
Just disclose it. Okay. They ask when they interview. Okay, how many?
Bill Ackman took me to St. Bart's.
How many prostitutes did you have last year? 30? Great. Okay, everyone knows. If you have a problem with that, then cool. Don't vote him in. But at least you know. But come on, we know this is happening.
Of course.
But it's the fact that they don't.
Because it's similar to recreation.gov. It's presented to the public that this is to help the parks.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the price. Supreme Court justice is your civil servant. It's not a high-paying job by the level of education and talent that these people have. Like, they could go to the private sector and make tens of millions of dollars, but they do it for hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And they're supposed to have little perks because if you're choosing to be a civil servant, you've accepted that I'm not into the private sector.
Yep.
That's the assumption to the public.
Yeah. I get it.
If you want to go be a partner at name a big law firm, you work with all of them now, and you choose to make tens of millions of dollars, that's your choice.
Yeah.
But if you pretend to be a civil servant, Congress, if you're a congressperson, a gift of over $50, you have to report it to the ethics committee.
Huh.
And they're voted in every 2 years. This is for life.
That's wild. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the real problem is that, like, the public is getting bamboozled
By Booz Allen.
by Booz Allen. Bamboozle Allen. That's the name of that company. I mean, see, the problem is this is happening all the time. And then when we go and do our budget and we go approve $2 trillion and not 1.8 of it, you can't even fucking explain where the money's going.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, defense. Cool. Show me the weapons. I want to see fucking shit blow up.
Yeah. I mean, why is Well, we don't even have proper sidewalks in LA.
Yeah. But recreation.gov got 180 mil
Yeah.
to book a site, to book a visit. Like kids could, this is the argument for ChatGPT in my place. This is why the business to business impact. Recreation.gov could be built by AI and then monitored by low paid jobs in America that help maintain the website. And you could cut that budget from 180 to 500 grand, $1 million. That $170 million being sucked out of the American economy can go either back into the economy or can go into helping schools, roads, so many other use cases. Like when I think about like what AI, think about the DMV.
Yeah.
AI should just take the DMV and shut the fuck down. We have no reason. That flow that happens there is a joke. That's why if they just... Sam Altman just focused on a business to business use case and say, I will introduce it to the consumer when they are ready, not just unleash.
Yeah. And if you wanted it, if it stayed as a nonprofit, he could have improved how much government waste.
He could have improved he could have really improved humanity. And he could have gone to Microsoft, Google and say, look, we need you all to donate $10 billion over the next decade, and you all get access for business to business use only.
What do you think his motivation is? So I don't believe it's money. He's already a billionaire. Okay.
He has one.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. It's
Fine.
money.
No,
power.
But I think it's got to be like Sam Altman is known within tech and a very like Silicon Valley knows who he is, but everyone knows who Zuck is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who Bill Gates is.
So it's an ego.
Everyone knows who Elon is.
He's like, I'm going to light the world on fire and you're going to know who did it.
Yeah. Now people who'd never heard of Sam Altman know who he is now.
He kind of looks like Zuck. Doesn't he?
I mean, not really. Just an in-shape white guy.
That's Zuck. That's what Zuck is to me.
But I have to believe that was his motivation because someone as smart as he is, it's just got to be legacy. Because if you go privately and help the government fix waste, because think about how much waste of that 1.7 trillion a year we spend in government, the AI could eliminate.
Yeah. Oh my God. Even if he just did it just to help recreation.gov.
Right.
DMV, Social Security, he could have made such an impact on humanity.
Yeah. Instead, now we're worried the world's ending.
Yeah. Because he just released a freaking chat app.
It's like he nuked the world.
Yeah. Like, it's so frustrating because he could have improved humanity by so much. Like one person could have had that impact.
Yeah, he could have done what basically Melinda Gates Foundation times like 100.
Yeah, if you needed money, just go to him. Bill Gates told us it was just going to be the end of us. He has a foundation. Be like, Bill, I need you to backstop this.
Yeah, because the argument is how much server costs. But if the government, if these philanthropies knew what the good could have come of it, they would have funded it.
100%.
Because if you backstop $10 billion for OpenAI a year annually, I don't know what the number is. It's probably something of that magnitude. Given that it went from 0 to 200 million users in 4 months.
Yeah.
You probably would eliminate, $1 trillion in waste on that investment?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, easily. Easy. And all of these people would have gladly financed it.
For sure.
And by the way, the server cost would have been way less if it was only for business to business use. Now every schmuck is in there writing a song and writing a movie
You can
script.
fake citations.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to a point where like you're going to open a medical journal and we'll have no idea if any of this is real.
Yeah. You can't believe anything anymore. Do you believe?
I think it has a really negative impact on science.
Because people just don't know what.
Yeah, I think with these things you can, because prior to that, it's actually a scientist or doctor or research field that it's their work.
Yeah.
Now we have no idea if it's their work.
Yeah, that's fair.
The other reason why Amit was super scared about the world ending, because the evolution of biotech has become so significant in the last 5-10 years that it's getting to a point where you can make homemade pathogens. So anyone can create a coronavirus. Anyone's going to be able to create any virus.
Then anyone can create a vaccine.
Sure. But you could create a deadly one that you just unleash. I mean, there's a lot of bad actors in the world.
Yeah.
And he's scared about that too.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
Because it's going to be so easy to create these pathogens.
Yeah. I don't even know what a pathogen is.
Something that's scary.
Yeah. Bad hombres. All right. Well, that's interesting. All right. We're going to talk about inflation. Last topic before we head to winners, losers content. I think I've talked about this for 5 years on the podcast.
Yeah.
And it's because it's fascinating every single time. The Masters, the golf tournament, is happening this weekend. And their food price, $1.50 for a sandwich. You got a little pimento, get chips, pretzels, hot dog, whatever it is. But it's like the prices from like 1920 or something.
Chicken salad, $3, $2 chicken biscuit, $1.50 cookies, $5 beers.
Yeah.
Great.
Can anybody walk on the...
Buy get tickets. Yeah. Anyone can buy a ticket.
Oh, okay.
And they lock your phones.
Oh, that's nice.
So everyone has to be locked in. I don't know what the pricing is, but it's a lot of rich people go, so it can't be cheap.
It can't be cheap, but I mean, I know a lot of people have gone who are not like extremely wealthy.
Yeah, and it says the Masters will pull in $150 million for the weekend, but because they subsidize so much of the experience, they leave $100 million on the table.
Well,
Booz Allen would have liked that $100 million.
Booz would say, make that sandwich $14. But that's cool. Even though, like, I'm sure Augusta is like probably a terrible place for people like us, but I like that they kept that tradition on the price.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I'm more of a waste management guy.
Yeah,
that's more my
scene. You shouldn't go to the Masters.
No, waste management is the future of golf, not the Masters.
Yeah,
if I were to make a bet of like where golf goes, it's waste management, not Masters.
Yeah, especially with Khaled. Have you followed his golf content?
No. He started golfing?
Yeah.
How does he find a way every like 18 months to like get relevant?
Yeah, he's like, call me Tiger Woods, screaming it.
He's got to be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, he's hitting the ball. I don't know if it's after the 10th shot.
Yeah.
The shots he's posting, the ball's going somewhere.
Yeah.
Swing's not, swing needs work.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
And he has a match, him versus Steve Stout. They're pumping it.
Wow,
they're trying to do like how they
legend,
did
versus
Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady.
Oh my God.
His content's unbelievable. He's on the course and his Rolex dealer pulls up on like the 15th and it's like, Khaled, I got a new piece for you. He's unboxing.
Where is he posting all this?
TikTok, Instagram, everywhere.
Oh my God.
YouTube.
Just
can't miss it.
It's just stupid.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
But he reinvents himself. Like, it's pretty crazy.
I've always felt this. I actually think the best people on social media are older people because for them, it's just a game. It's business. They're no emotionally connected to like, oh, this is how I built my audience. Like kids always get out. Khaled's like 45 years old.
Probably older.
He's probably 50 and he's kicking all these kids' asses. Well, they're like, I can't promote content anymore.
There was one video of him in his golf cart and he loses complete control and he like, almost tips over. I think he reversed instead of go forward.
Oh yeah.
And then he couldn't even keep a straight face. That's life. Obstacles. Overcome the obstacles. It's pretty amazing.
Oh my God.
You got to check it out.
All right.
If you have 5 minutes, highly recommend Khaled's golf content.
Okay. I'll watch. All right, let's move on. Winners of the week. Who do you have?
It's if you open social media, you would think like progressives are evil, woke is dead, everyone hates all this stuff. But then you look at elections, and this is a non-political, it is objectively, they're getting voted in. So LA, Karen Bass beat Caruso.
Yeah.
Chicago. Progressive mayor.
Very progressive mayor.
Very progressive mayor. In Wisconsin, the state Supreme Court, a very progressive liberal judge won. And Wisconsin's the most telling because you could Chicago and LA, you'd be like, okay, I get it. But Chicago and LA have also had the most problems.
Yeah.
And then Wisconsin's a red state typically, and they voted in a judge from Milwaukee, which is a liberal city within Wisconsin.
So what is that all?
I think social media is obviously fake.
Yeah.
And it's just outrage, and most people don't follow any of it. And if you open up Twitter, you would think woke is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And progressives are evil.
But that's just how actually more and more people are thinking along those
Yeah.
lines. That makes sense. It's interesting, especially on elections. The fact that they're winning in cities that are crumbling is even more impressive.
Yeah. No, totally.
My winner of the week is Hermes,
Okay.
the luxury house. The company's now worth $200 billion. It's publicly traded. Revenue north of $13 billion. Profit on the $12 billion, $3.8 billion.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
Unfucking believable. Because you think about like, what's OpenAI worth? 20 billion?
30.
30. And that would probably be the most transformational piece of technology ever.
It's probably worth 100 now, to be honest.
Okay,
It was
which is
30
half-
like 2 months ago.
Half of Hermes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hasn't Louis Vuitton tried to buy it for years?
I think everyone has tried to buy it. Now it's unaffordable. And think about it from an Hermes standpoint. And like, I'm obviously...
What's their
Birkin.
unique? It's
the bag. Birkin
I know,
bag.
but what differentiates it?
You can't... It's impossible to get. You can't go to the store and go get it.
Yeah.
It's a process. Like, there's nothing more valuable to me. If I had unlimited money, the two things I would invest in are not technology. I would buy a heritage luxury brand, Italian or French. And the reason being is it's like real estate. You cannot recreate 100 years of heritage. Like, you just can't.
Yeah.
And it's so valuable to the consumer. And then music catalogs. Those are the two things. It's like art. Both of those are like, there's so much history behind both those two stories. Whereas like anything technology can be basically broken.
Yeah. No, totally.
Like there's an existential crisis at Google because of OpenAI. That's insane to me. That $1 trillion company, people are like, search is done. Google's over. It's all gone. I was like, what?
Yeah, the way people are writing Google's obituary is kind of crazy.
Yeah, which I don't fundamentally believe.
People wrote Facebook's obituary.
And look at it. This almost at a 52-week high. I don't believe that it is, but like, you think like that. Think about if you wanted to recreate Hermes, it would take 50 years.
Yeah, and what's crazy at
100 years.
These like brands, if you're like the manager at one of these stores, you basically regulate.
You're so powerful.
Yeah, you're the equivalent of like an A-list celebrity.
Yeah.
Because you regulate the supply and who gets the invitation. I don't even know how it works. Can you explain it? Because I know it's impossible to get appointments at all these
similar
places.
to like if you go to Tiffany, for example, let's say more people know the store Tiffany. If you are a regular customer of Tiffany's, like you buy their, bullshit bracelets, maybe the kitchenware, you buy like some jewelry once in a while.
Yep.
When they get like the AP that everybody wants, you'll get a call for it because you're a regular customer. When the shoes dropped, everyone who is a regular Tiffany's customer, like I know 3 friends, they all got offered the Air Force Ones. They bought them for $400 because they're regular Tiffany customers.
So yeah, it's similar to like, I know in the watch world, you have to buy all the shitty watches. Then when the hot one comes, you get access to it.
Same with Hermes. They want you to buy some scarves, buy some blankets.
So you have to be in for like 150 grand
I'm sure. Yeah. I don't know what the threshold is, but it's 6 figures.
a year.
Yeah. That's what my guess would be. You commit 6 figures a year in, year out. When the allocation comes of the Birkin, you get your pick of the litter of what you want.
And what's the threshold? Because I've heard rich people, they get flown out to Paris for the new collections for some of these luxury houses. What's the threshold annually?
I know someone that spends $250,000 a year at an LVMH company, and he gets flown out for Fashion Week, front row, Rosewood, Paris, the whole deal.
So $50,000 vacation.
Easy. Yeah.
Because it's, I'm sure, him and his significant other, her and his significant other.
Yeah, him and his wife, yeah.
Not bad.
That's my one data point on that. But that's Hermes. Like, and look at they're making $3.8 billion profit on 12. So you know how much the shit costs to make?
Yeah. Not much.
Nothing. Loser of the week.
I'm going to stay positive. Another winner, given your story. Bernard Arnault is the richest man in the world. 200 billion.
211. You miss 11.
What's 11 when you have 200?
But like, look at the luxury market. It's absolutely on fire.
I think it's to your point. Like, Technology, well, that's what I love, is not easily disruptable, but everything has been disrupted
Yeah.
at some point. Microsoft was the biggest company in the world. Then, it's also because the governments get involved.
Yeah.
No government's getting involved in LVMH.
Yep.
And maybe when they do these big acquisitions, Tiffany's was over 20 billion. I didn't see any antitrust issues.
Yeah.
But
Just slid by.
because I think consumers' data is involved with technology companies, they get heavy-handed treatment from governments around the world,
Which have handicapped them.
which handicap them, which is why they can't, because they couldn't buy OpenAI. Google would not be allowed to buy OpenAI.
Yeah.
And my guess is the government was asleep at the wheel, realizing how much Microsoft's competitive advantage is for now owning a piece of OpenAI.
Yeah. Interesting.
So like Microsoft went through a decade of they couldn't do anything. And then everyone looked away and said, do whatever you want. And Satya went on a buying spree.
Yeah.
Bought everything.
Yep.
And Google.
Well, that I think they were talking about then the All In, how like Steve Ballmer was handicapped because he was just there to like.
Yeah, they said like the attorneys were there to check when they release product, forget acquisitions.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why he deserves his $100 billion.
He had the worst job.
Yeah.
He just had to suck it up and just wait it out. Then everyone forgot about Microsoft. This guy comes in, buys whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
My loser is the new thing everyone is losing their mind on, which is what appears to be a man dressed as a woman dancing around in some Nike women leggings that has completely caused chaos on Twitter again.
Twitter's not real.
It's not real.
No one is talking about this in the real world.
No one cares. And even, I guess this same person promoted Anheuser-Busch, and then all these country artists are saying, I want Anheuser-Busch off my rider, and I don't want to drink Budweiser anymore, or whatever. What did we learn about Nike with Colin Kaepernick? It don't fucking matter.
If you open Twitter, you would think the biggest issue in the world is the discussion around transgender.
Yeah.
That is all of Twitter right now.
Yeah, that's all they care about.
But if you ask an average person, it's probably not a list. Not that I'm saying anyone's transphobic or whatever. They're like, no, inflation.
Inflation. That's all that really matters.
I want to be able to make sure I can afford groceries.
Yeah. But
not who's in an ad campaign, who's swimming. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
But Twitter, it's bigger than any election. It's bigger than civil rights. It's crazy. Yeah. And this is what I think Republican opinion is, because Clay Travis, who now has the biggest Republican leaning radio show in the country, talks about trans 24/7.
Yeah, because it works.
And if you look at the elections, no one gives a shit about this issue.
Yeah. And obviously, like, it's the next fight on social media.
They're still talking about masks.
Who's talking about masks?
Republican opinions. They want a revisionist history. They didn't work, this, that, blah, blah, blah.
We moved on.
Yeah, exactly. But they're losing the elections. That's the funny part. They know it works on Twitter.
Yeah.
It ranges
but
everyone.
It doesn't work in the polls.
Doesn't work in the polls. Yeah. No one's talking about any of that stuff.
All right. Content.
It finally came out. Been talking about it for over a month. Air.
Yeah.
Seeing it tonight.
Wow.
Opening night.
I'm jealous.
Matt Damon, Ben Affleck.
Is it available on TV too?
I think in like a week or two.
On TV?
Yeah.
On like Amazon or something? Is
Netflix.
It Amazon? Netflix?
Oh, no, wow. Is it Amazon? Sorry.
I don't know, maybe it is. Okay. That's
Either
exciting.
way, it's going to be on streaming pretty shortly. They're doing this for a lot of big movies, like the big budget movies, like the Jonah Hill movie.
You People.
That was on the theater
Netflix.
first, and then it went to Netflix. I think it builds buzz.
Yeah.
It was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes aired. Now it's 99%.
That's insane. On, I think, audience and critics.
Yeah.
So it must be incredible.
I mean, this cast is unbelievable.
Well, there's a lot of movies with really good cast. I think they are like obviously very special, talented actors and actresses, whoever's involved. It's the kind of the greatest fucking story ever.
Yeah.
If you grew up in our age demographic, it's fucking Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
There's literally nobody else that matters.
There's a 10-year period where the silhouette of Michael Jordan was
the
most recognized thing in the world.
So I think like from the age group of like nostalgia, There's nothing bigger than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, The Last Dance proved it
Yeah. It was like the biggest thing in ESPN history.
for sure. And I mean, props to Ben Affleck because he directed it. This guy's everyone. The media tries to portray him in a negative light.
Yeah.
But that dude is.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. He likes to have a couple drinks. He's Booze Allen.
And I love Matt Damon too.
I don't know anything about Matt Damon because I don't watch Bourne.
Oh, I love Bourne. It's my favorite.
I've never seen Bourne.
Fantastic. You would love it.
Just fighting, right?
Four of them. Yeah. Just him running around the world avoiding the government.
A lot of people these days. My content recommendation is NBA. I'm going to watch 2 Laker games this weekend.
Yeah, it's a big weekend.
Yeah. So the Lakers are in the 7th seed, could be in the 6th seed, could be in the 9th seed,
Or
could
the
be in the
10th.
10th seed.
Yeah.
They play the Phoenix Suns, I think, tonight or tomorrow night. And then they play the Jazz, I think, on Sunday. NBA, look, it's exciting when it's exciting. The problem is that no one gave a shit till like 2 weeks ago.
Because they don't play.
Yeah.
When the stars don't play,
Yeah.
it's pretty tough to watch.
Like I watched Laker Clipper game. I watched like half of it yesterday. And I would never watch that game.
Yeah, because the stakes were high and they played.
Yes. And Kawhi played and LeBron played. And
everyone didn't know if LeBron or AD was going to play.
yeah.
Can you imagine if you
Yeah.
bought tickets to that game and
Yeah.
they sit?
Yeah. But it was awesome. They lost. Lakers lost, but it was
Yeah.
still a great game. All
Good.
right.
And the Masters.
You're going
I'm
to watch Masters?
Tune in the end of Sunday when it's ending. Whoever's in the hunt.
I'll watch if Tiger's in.
It's going to be tough.
Okay, then I won't watch. All right,
And
everyone.
The other
What
storyline,
else?
last thing.
What else?
The Masters, which is interesting. The Live guys and the PJ guys
Yeah,
that
yeah.
everyone's playing.
Yeah.
So Augusta made all the Live guys with the tee times where they won't be on TV. They just cratered their ability to get more shine.
Yeah.
And they put them in the worst matchups, not with the stars.
Yeah.
And I want a Live guy to be in the hunt and rattle the cages, piss off the establishment, piss
Okay.
off everyone attending that tournament hates Live.
Do they?
Yeah, they're all purists. If you're going to fly to wherever you have to fly to get to Augusta, most golfer people I know hate Live.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like real golfers.
I'm a real golfer. I like Liv. DJ Khaled likes Liv, for sure.
Of course.
All right, I got a shout out to end today's episode. The shout out is to 2 people, John and Eddie, and his wife Whitney, and really congratulating them on their new book. It's called Mountain Rides. It's with Ralph Lauren, and this weekend in Aspen, they have a signing at the Aspen store for Ralph Lauren.
Wow.
From 4 to 6 p.m. So I assume that's on Saturday. So if you are in Aspen, Kathy's, if you live out there, go see John and go see his wife, Whitney, at the store as they are signing these books. And it'll be exclusively available at all Ralph Lauren home stores and online starting tomorrow.
Sounds rich.
Yeah, it's very rich. It's very rich. And they are then headed west in a couple weeks to work on their next book, which is about surf rides. So they bought an RV and will be traveling up the West Coast all spring and summer. They're going to try to make it to the run club when they're in the LA area.
Cool.
Congrats, guys.
Congratulations.
That's no easy task. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. I think the weather is fairly decent all over the country. I think the tornadoes in the Midwest are gone now. Sun is shining on the coast. So enjoy.
Peace.